This is Dead Cells, developed and published by Motion Twin. Dead Cells is a kind of roguelite, Metroidvania style game. So it's roguelite in the sense that you are going to be dying a lot and constantly replaying the same areas over and over again and getting better as you do. And Metroidvania in the sense that you pick up permanent abilities that can open new areas and new avenues for you to explore. So probably the most important thing to point out about Dead Cells is how fast and fluid the gameplay is, how fluid the animations are, and that really comes down to the developers using 3D models and 3D pipelines to create 2D models, which is why the animations are so fluid. They're not keyframing through sprites, they're using an actual 3D model and then rasterizing it later. Which gives this great flow to everything. The game is very fast. The game even kind of rewards you for being, or for trying to go very fast through it. There are time-locked doors, and you can see in the corner of the screen there's a clock, and certain doors will lock after a certain amount of time. So you want to get there as fast as you can to get into those doors while they're open, so you can get all the goodies inside. But the risk end of that is that you won't be picking up any upgrades along the way. And there's a good chance you're going to die before you get a chance to use any of those goodies. So the basic loop of the game is you run through a dungeon, killing enemies and picking up their dead cells, or avoiding enemies in an attempt to get through the level as fast as you can. At the end of the level, you have the opportunity to spend those dead cells to unlock new weapons or upgrades for your character, and then you move on to the next dungeon and you rinse and repeat. Eventually you'll fight a boss. Boss will kick your ass the first couple of times until you learn their moves and learn their patterns, and you'll get through those bosses. You'll die eventually, and you'll have to start over from the very beginning and work your way through. The game opens up in the sense that you use your dead cells to buy new weapons, but rather than gaining those weapons and being able to equip them right away, they just enter a random pool of weapons. So you increase the size of the pool and the variation within that. Swords, heavy swords, fast swords, two-handed swords, dual-wielding weapons. You have bows, crossbows, you have shields, and so on. There's a lot of variation in weapons. Occasionally, too much variation. You can have the situation where you have unlocked so many weapons, but you only prefer one or two of them. But you've kind of diluted the pool at this point. It would be nice to sort of relock weapons that you don't like, and just say, I never want to see this weapon again, I'm sick of using it. But you don't have that opportunity. So you just kind of have to deal with whatever weapons you've been given. It's definitely a lot of fun to play, and it's very fast to play. I mean, runs are, in general, for me anyway, I think the longest run I ever had was 40 minutes, maybe. And that was really good. Usually the runs are under 20, because I'm not good at this game, or maybe I haven't been playing it long enough. It's really fun to play though. The place I'm at the moment, there's a bit of a wall where I am now, in that the next upgrades are quite expensive and I'm not getting a lot of cells on every run. So there's a bit of a wall, or a bit of a gap there, where I'm just grinding, kind of. That's not great, you know, when you're not making progress, especially when you're making a lot of progress at the beginning and suddenly you're making none. That kind of gets annoying to play. But you gotta persevere through it. I've beaten a couple bosses now, and I'm stuck in the castle just getting stomped constantly. Opening up new abilities to get through, like the catacombs, things like that, does kind of give a bit of variation, but yeah, it all comes back to the castle either way, and I can't beat the castle, so that's a little annoying. But I will persevere, I'll beat it eventually. Check it out anyway. Dead Cells is available on everything, I think. There should be some text on the screen to tell you which platforms it is. Anyway, it's really good. Give it a go. This is Donut County, developed by Ben Esposito, running on the Unity engine and published by Annapurna Interactive. Donut County is a kind of weird, sort of experimental game. You control a hole in the ground that swallows up objects, and every time it swallows up an object it gets bigger, so it's able to swallow up bigger objects, and eventually it swallows up everything in the level. The story around Donut County is you play a raccoon who is running a donut shop, and when people order donuts he deliberately misinterprets it, I'm not sure, but he sends holes to them instead and swallows up all their stuff. And basically the game starts with the whole of Donut County being swallowed by holes, and you replay the events that led up to it. So you do a level where you try to attempt to swallow everything, going from the smallest thing in the level to the biggest thing in the level, and in between you get these kind of really humorous, irreverent kind of joke sections where all the villagers, if you like, of the county, citizens even, talk to each other and kind of make jokes and, you know, cast blame on who's responsible for all of this. It's really short, but it's really funny. It's like laugh out loud funny sometimes, and surprisingly swallowing things in a hole, particularly when it's physics based like that, it's funny. It's actually a lot of fun to do. Not a whole lot to say about it. It's, you know, you can see it on the screen there. It's humorous. It's available on PS4 and Windows and Mac as well, I think. And there's an iOS version too. Pricing wise, I think it's probably a bit too expensive on the PS4. If you have access to an iOS device, probably grab it there, or PC. And if you have no alternatives, PlayStation, but maybe wait for a sale. I don't know. Or you could watch my full LP of it, because I said it's quite short, so capturing footage for the game. I ended up finishing the whole thing. So it's up there on the channel. Just go look for it. Foley plays Donut County. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. If you get a chance to check it out, do.
You're not supposed to be here.
This is a demo for a game called Transference, directed by Benoit Richer for Spectre Vision and Ubisoft Montreal, and published by Ubisoft. So I'm only looking at this because it was free, because it's a demo and it's PSVR, and I was looking for something to check my capturing for PSVR. So this is what I picked. It's creepy. It's a psychological thriller thing where you have recordings of these patients for this dude, and he's having you relive their trauma, because that's what you want to do with your life, I guess. Yeah, it's creepy. It's like a first-person, kind of weird, digitalized, kind of 80s vaporware look to it. It's kind of strange. I'm not great with horror, so I'm probably not the best person to ask about this game. I was creeped out by it, though, so I guess there's that. Definitely in the VR. There's parts in the demo where the guy just shows up, kind of jump scares you right in your face with a gun pointing at your face, and then shoots you, and you're like, oh god, you know. Was I actually shot? You know, the kind of brain tricking you because it's seeing something that's not really there. Anyway, demo, I'm not going to talk too much about it. It looks interesting, but again, I'm not the one to talk about horror because I'm not good with it. But yeah, as far as I know, it comes out in September. So at the time of this video, because I'm very late, it's probably already out. I didn't get it, so don't look for it in the next video. But I'm sure it's out there if you want to check it out. It is not a VR only game. There's just, if you play it on PlayStation, there is a VR option, but it is available on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. So Xbox doesn't have a VR thing, so I assume it is not a VR only thing. Anyway, enough about that. God, getting shot in the face in VR sucks.
Some goddamn hero. Couldn't save his own family. Can't believe I looked up to him.
This is Divinity Original Sin 2, directed by Sven Vinke with Larian Studios, published by Bandai Namco Entertainment. So Divinity Original Sin 2 is a top-down Western RPG similar to old D&D RPG games like Baldur's Gate or Neverwinter Nights or Icewind Dale or any of those kind of things. So good, basically, is the gist of that. Divinity Original Sin 2 takes place a long time after Divinity Original Sin 1, so you don't need to have played that to be up to speed here. So this game came out on PC last year, September of last year, and is now out on PS4 and Xbox One. In this game, you take control of a Godwoken, who is like a super special guy, as all RPGs do, and you are being taken to a prison. Wow, this is very cliched already. Anyway, and something happens and you're no longer being taken to that prison. It is your job to become the next divine god person to hold back the evil darkness, etc, etc. Right, now we're past the cliche bit. Despite all that, the story is actually quite good. And the way that works is your party members are kind of characters already in their own right. So you can pick from pre-made characters right at the start of the game, or create your own character. And any character you don't pick becomes a party member. So they are already fully realized, potentially player characters who are now non-player characters. But because of that, they have their own backstory, they have their own agenda in the game, and that agenda will conflict with yours. It will. There's no way around that. And how you handle that will determine how long they'll be party members for you. You know, if you've been friendly with them and you've been helping them out, maybe they'll look the other way if you need to do something nefarious, or if they're about to do something nefarious and you would rather they didn't do that and you're friends, maybe they won't. If you're not friends, maybe they will. And because they are potentially player characters, they are also potentially the new divine, the new god who has to ascend to deal with the darkness. So there's conflict already built in right at the start of the game. That's great. Otherwise, it's also a really good tactical RPG. You've got your different classes, you have fighters, wizards, and all that. It's still very Dungeons & Dragons, which is all still very good. The story is really where it sets itself apart. It's got some great writing in it. So good that I actually don't want to talk about it because I'll give away a lot of it. The conflict with the different party members is really great. You can also play this multiplayer, going from the last game where you could split up in multiplayer as well. You could take half the party and go off in one direction, and the other half of the party can go off in the other direction, and potentially play the game in completely weird order, or sweep around and, you know, pincer attack enemies and so on. There's some great variation there. I'm not terribly far into the game. I do know a bit more of the story than I actually wanted to. Yeah, spoilers and such. I was spoiled. Anyway, I'm really enjoying it. I haven't really had a good chance to play a decent top-down RPG. I had Torment, and I never got into Pillars for whatever reason. I just bounced off it. But I'm really enjoying Divinity, and I just want to have more time to play it because I'm not very far in, but I want to get further in, if that makes sense. If you have PC, probably get it there. I think it's gone down now in price, the enhanced edition. So grab it on PC if you can, but the console versions are fine. Their console versions for, you know, these kind of RPGs can be not great, but they're fine. They do the job. But again, if you can get it on PC, do that instead. Two Point Hospital, developed by 2 Point Studios, running on the Unity engine and published by Sega. So 2 Point Hospital is a follow-up to, or not really a follow-up, a spiritual successor to Theme Hospital, legally distinct. This is 2 Point Studios' first game, and 2 Point Studios was founded by developers of Theme Hospital, so, you know, spiritual successor but also sequel kind of. In 2 Point Hospital, you take on the role of a hospital manager, and your job is to manage a hospital, basically. You build out rooms, you hire staff, hire doctors, cure diseases, stop people from dying, clean them up if they do, keep everybody happy, keep everybody healthy. That's the general gist of Theme Hospital and of 2 Point Hospital. Thankfully, the diseases are kind of comical and humorous. You're not dealing with like cancer and heart disease and that kind of thing. You're dealing with lightheadedness, where people have light bulbs for heads, and animal magnetism, where animals are stuck to people, that kind of thing. They're jokey. It's not too bad. Even when people die, patients die, they turn into comical ghosts and things like that. So it's not, doom and gloom. It's a great chill out game. It doesn't really, I was going to say it doesn't challenge you. It does challenge you, but you can kind of take it at your own pace. You can kind of play it over a long period of time and not really have to worry too much about it. Some distinctions from Theme Hospital. The game is kind of broken up into levels, and each level is its own hospital with its own objectives and goals. Like the first hospital is teach you how to play the game, right? Tutorial hospital. Then you'll have a hospital that is a teaching hospital. So your priority there is to hire students and build them up into decent doctors. There'll be another hospital that is, set near a skiing resort. So broken bones are the priority there. So you're building like a casting station and things like that. Doctors or a ward that specializes in fractures and that kind of thing. You'll end up going to the rich area where all of the, they want only the trendiest diseases, so you'll need to spend a lot of money and make a lot of money to try to keep people happy there. That kind of thing. Every hospital has its own objectives. The hospitals have star ratings, so once you get 1 star, once you complete one objective, you can move on to a new hospital, but the more stars you get, the more stuff you get. So there are some things that are locked behind kudosh, which is this kind of special currency. Now, don't run away too fast. It's not a premium currency like you might be thinking. These are kind of unlocked by completing these objectives. You get kudosh, and that will help you unlock new rooms, new items, things like that. Another thing that is a little bit different from Theme Hospital is that your employees and your patients have their own kind of personalities. Particularly the employees have their own kind of personalities, and they have specializations that you can teach them. So you can make a nurse better at working in the ward rather than working in the general practice, or you can make a doctor for psychotherapy, or you can make them specialize more in lightheadedness. They become more of a mechanic. That kind of thing. You want to keep them happy, so you want to build a decent staff room. You want to make the rooms they work in look nice. You buy accessories to make the rooms look better. You buy vending machines and magazine stands and little news agents and things to make the hospital look more attractive for people who are waiting. Keep them entertained so they don't get pissed off, because if they get pissed off, your hospital rating goes down and you don't make so much money. There's a lot of spinning plates, but it's manageable. As I said, good chill out game that I'm really enjoying. I just sit down, play it, don't really have to think too much about it. Have a bit of fun. Theme Hospital, God. 2 Point Hospital, legally distinct, but not really. Anyway, is available on PC, Mac, and Linux. So go check that out. Those are some of the games I played for August 2018. Dead Cells and 2 Point Hospital, good standouts for me for August. Divinity 2, I just need to spend more time with. I know there's something special there. I just have to put some time aside to go out and play it. Don't account to a good laugh, but a bit too short. About 2 to 3 hours gameplay there. And Transference, nope. Won't be going back to that one. If you look down at the publishing date for this video, you'll see it's about 2 months late for August. So yeah, some things have changed a bit in my professional life. I previously had been working off and on, and now I have a full-time Monday to Friday job, so my time for doing these videos has been cut rather drastically. So I'm trying to fit these into more of a schedule and more of a routine rather than doing them as I think of them. So bear with me on that. There may be some changes for the channel. But anyway, coming up for the September video, we'll be looking at Dragon Quest XI, Echoes of an Elusive Age, I think it's called, which I am having a lot of fun with. that this is a really good JRPG. So look forward to more on that. Also, Spider-Man, played a bit of it, not enough to really give any opinions just yet. And Rise of the Tomb Raider, haven't played it at all. It's sitting on my console, and I just need to put some time into it before I can make any videos. Elsewhere on the channel, LP is still in limbo, and they're, to be fair, I'll be real with you, they're gonna remain in limbo for a bit. So I just need to work out a schedule. That's all. Just gotta fit it around the job. For October, normally I would do a kind of horror game, or, well, spooky game, not necessarily horror because I'm not great with horror, LP, but that's not going to happen this year. You know, it's just timing. I just don't have enough time for these things until I work out some kind of routine or schedule. So yeah, that's the message for this month. Some things are in limbo and things are being worked on, but they're being worked on slowly because I'm lazy. Anyway, keep an eye on the channel, please. Don't run away.